So now we get into the category that I found most difficult. It is the one that I've changed around the most. It is the one where I'm not even happy with my own list, because out of the 10 that are nominated, there are 8 that deserve to be in the top 5. But you can't fit 8 into 5. It's like fitting square blocks through round holes. It's not possible, you know? And so when we do this now, there are... The problem I have is I can't even say there are 1 or 2 that have to be in here. There's only one project that I believe stays in here, and that's my number 1. From 2 down to 8, it could be in nearly any order. Because I've done the thing where I've almost done like an elimination thing, right? If we put that project up against that project, who wins? That project. And do it like that. But then I'm not happy with the way it then orders out. Because I'm like, well, no, because then that's not better than that one if you match it up. And so the problem that I have is that I just don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know here. So let's go through my list, because this is one that I find difficult. So here's going to be my number 5, which is already going to sound very off. Hooligan Hef's Living in Sin. Now some people might think, wait, what? Didn't you say that was like Project of the Year? When I reviewed it, I did. I said that was Project of the Year. It's not Project of the Year. But how does my number 1 a few weeks ago go down to my number 5? All I'll say is this: it's still a great EP. It's a fantastic EP by Hefs, and I love every bit of it. But I don't think it's going to have as much replay value as I thought it was going to. I don't think it's going to have the longevity of some of these other projects. And I think that's the reason it falls off a little bit for me. Through first listen, it probably was the project out of nearly this entire list that got me the most excited when first listening to it. But in terms of replay value, I think that's where it might fall short. But I don't know. I don't know. Because I still really like the EP. The Dimsy feature, I really enjoyed at the time. Since, not as much. Not as much. But then tracks like Same Road and In and Out, I'm appreciating more than before. Even more than before. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I couldn't not put it in my top 5. But at the same time, there is a project or 2 that could probably overtake it. I don't know. You've also got to realize we're putting EPs up against albums, in which case that might not be fair. It might not be fair to the album, where an EP is more concise and it's easier to get every track right. Whereas an album, it's like, well, they've got just more content that is more impressive. So I think next year we need to separate EPs and albums, because I think that caused a big issue for me here. Number 4 on my list. Posse Shot PS2. Or Posse Shot 2. This is a project I didn't expect people to vote for. Really, as in terms of the masses, I didn't expect people to vote for, but it has to be in here. If we're talking about just MCing, just being able to go, right, this is my lane and let me stick to it. Posse Shot, man, like you can't chat to them, man. Are you nuts? Like, listen to, if you like boom bap, if you like traditional sounding hip hop, Posse Shot is your place to go. Get the money up. Let's talk about Tesla. Like, these man just... I love it. And the reason it goes into my list is because it's kind of the opposite to Hef's project in terms of it has replay value. It has... Like, some of the tracks on here are a couple years old now. Although I've only found out about Posse Shot more recently. No other people have had more time to live to this. And I just feel like it's the kind of music that I would happily continue to listen to in 5 years' time. Now, again, maybe time will tell and I'll be wrong there. But I just feel like it just has replay value. It just does. Like, they've got tracks from 2015 that sound timeless that could be released today. I like that. I really like that about Posse Shot. I've gained such a huge respect for them this year in particular, and this project is fucking fantastic. Even if it does have older singles from like 2018, 2019 that are then put on this project, it's still a very good project in my opinion, and I'm gonna say this about everything. It has to go in my top 5. I feel like I could say that about 8 tracks, but yeah, I put Posse Shot at 4th. Number 3 on the list, which was number 1, then was number 2, then was somewhere like 5th or 6th, then back up to 3. Lisi's Average Man. I'm still stuck because part of me wants to put this second, and when I get to my second place, we're going to talk about that and how it can interchange. Lisi's Average Man is just such... It is exactly what I wanted Lisi to deliver. It's exactly what I wanted him to do. Like, Concrete Jungle is such an amazing way to open up the album. I love tracks like Hard Yakka that is just about hustle and grafting. I like Average Man, the title of this EP. He's just like, look, I'm just a normal guy from Goodna. I'm just a normal guy that's just trying to do my thing, innit? I love that. I absolutely love that. I love to give it back, showing that gratitude for his parents. I just, that, you know, it has everything. This EP has a bit of everything that I wanted to hear from Lisi, and he does it in a way that each track is diverse from one another, but still in the same lane. It's like 7 different cars on the same track, or the same car on 7 different tracks. But regardless, it's the kind of project I will put up on my wall at some point, I think, because I really enjoy it. I just want to spend more time with it and see if I feel the same way in the future. But it's definitely one that I'd consider doing so because it's fucking fantastic. Number 2 on my list is Chillin' It's Full Circle. Now, let's have a discussion about this because this might be the most controversial pick for 2 reasons. 1, I've picked Full Circle as a nominee over the Octagon, and some people question that. Speaking to people engaging by public response, Full Circle seems to be slightly more popular than the Octagon. That's the reason why I picked Full Circle. Even though I know Octagon is the album that he spent more time on, and Full Circle is kind of just a mixtape, the Full Circle felt just that ever so slightly bit more genuine, and I like that more because of it. But then I did go back and listen to the Octagon, and it was like, oh shit, man, I need to pick this. And then part of me, if I was picking my nominations, I would have put both of these projects in. I would have put them both in separately because they deserve to be there. So when I put Chillin' It's Full Circle at second, I know it's cheating, but I kind of put / the Octagon. I know that's cheating, but yeah, Full Circle. I'm going to try and only focus on Full Circle. Full Circle is just chilling it, being genuine chilling it. It doesn't feel like he's catering to anything else, which in a couple of tracks on the Octagon is what I felt like. I felt like he was catering to something else in 1 or 2 points. Within saying that, Chill understands his audience, I think. I think he understands what his audience wants to see from him. And I think he understands that his audience may involve different people from different walks of life. Some people are going to like the party and let's smoke weed and bang bad bitches shit. Others are going to like the more introspective side, which is what I enjoy more of. I feel like Chill just knows how to please. You know how they say you can't please everyone? I feel like Chill knows how to please most people. Like, now, Chill's Full Circle almost didn't make this list at one point. But when I was listening through, I just couldn't help but just have this extra level of excitement within me. And that's the reason why. I can't physically explain why it's better than some of these other projects, but it feels better than some of the other ones. That's the only way I can describe it. And I know that's wrong, and that's why it's controversial, because if I was to write out all the pros and cons on paper, it's not in my top 5. But how it makes me feel is different. It's different. And so it goes second place for me. And it goes second place to probably the only choice that was in my top 5 and hasn't changed from the number 1 spot. That's JK47's Made For This. Now, JK's 47 Made For This has been has already won awards. He's already been nominated. He's already won awards. He's already Triple J's won Hottest 100. All of this, like, he's been in all of it. But if we're talking about a project that not only sounds amazing, but also has something to say, you know, like, JK really had something to say here. Now, JK is a young man. I think he's the same age as me. I think he's like 22, 23. JK is showing a level of maturity and is showing a level of knowledge that is just beyond his peers. Just beyond most people in the scene. You know, in this project, he talks about the struggles of being indigenous and talks about the hurdles and the obstacles he's faced growing up and that he's seen his people growing up with. Like, this is the only project in this list that is bigger than music, in my opinion. Like, you look at Lisi's Average Man, that follows veins of it in terms of, like, look, I'm speaking on behalf of my people in my area. I'm just an average man like the rest of you. But I feel like JK takes it to an extra level that crosses that line of playing it safe. And I think that's why I respect it, because he's not trying to make radio bangers. He's not trying to make music that's gonna reach Spotify playlists. He's making music because that's his way of communicating what he feels. And even then, when he does a track like Guess Again, where he does more lyrically flex, like, as a rapper, as an MC, he is a better rapper than half of the people in this list, from a technical standpoint at the very least. And I know it's not one of the more popular artists. He's probably the least recognized artist on this list, perhaps along with like Posse Shot and Greeley respectively. So respectively, because they are known by a wide audience. But if we're looking at like today's average casual fan of the scene, they're gonna know, more people are gonna know about 1-4 than they are JK, again, respectively. And I feel like that's what, even more so, why I feel obliged to almost put this top of the list, because it's like, people need to hear this shit. Now, I can already hear people screaming at me. How did 1-4's project not make it? How did Husky's project not make it? How did Rops's? How did Greeley's? Because Greeley's project should have made my list. When we're talking about one of the 8, Greeley's was there. I don't know how Greeley's didn't make my list. I don't know how 1-4's didn't make my list. I don't know how Husky's. Which, by the way, all 3 of the ones I've just mentioned were in my list. And they're now no longer there. I don't know how I fit them in. For example, let's take Husky's Recalled EP. Recalled, I think the reason that hasn't made it is because I've only listened to it like a week or 2 ago, which means that I haven't spent enough time with this project, and I just don't know how it's going to hold up over time. It might get better with time, and if so, I'm going to kick myself watching back this video in a year's time, maybe even longer. But like, I just don't know how I include it over. I know how I can include, like, for example, if I put it up against Hef's EP, it probably goes above Hef's. But I can't miss out Living in Sin. I can't miss it out, so I have to put it in. And this is the problem that I have. If I put against all odds against Posse Shot's PS2, if we're talking about cultural relevance and impact, it's 10 times higher. But I can't miss out Posse Shot's project either, so it just goes above. Does that make sense? Like, I've really struggled making my list. And again, if I was playing it safe, it would have been easier to put Huskies instead of Posse Shots, and it would have been easier to put 1-4s instead of JK47s. It would have been easier. That would have been the safer thing to do, and I know everyone would have just been like, yeah. But again, I've made my list before looking at your list, and I think my list is just what I've picked today. It's just what feels right in my heart today. because this morning when I woke up, I changed something round. But if I was to do this in a week's time, it will probably be a different list. So take the order in which they're in with a pinch of salt. Just understand that I love that there has been so many good projects to come out of Australia this year, and we just have to congratulate these artists. So let's get into your list. Your list as a group makes a lot of sense for the most part, and I'm not angry at it because it's not far off of what my list looked like at one point. And number 5, we've got Chillin' It's Full Circle. We're going to speed through this. Number 4, Huskies Recalled. Number 3, Hooligan Hefts Living in Sin. Number 2 is Lisi Average Man. And number 1 is 1-4 Against All Odds. I get how 1-4 have made the top spot. I get it. Because it will go down as a classic. It will go down as an important piece of music in Aussie history. But I just can't. The only thing that... I don't want to discredit any of the 5 that have made that list. But you have to put JK's in there. You have to. But who do you swap it out for? Who? Who do you swap it out for? I just don't know how I haven't put 1-4s Against All Odds in my thing. I don't know how I haven't put Huskies. Oh man. This is what I'm saying. This is just giving me a headache now because I don't know what... Like, please, if you're going to give me a blight for any of the categories, right? We're going to talk about Acts of the Year next, but when we look at all 6 categories, can this be the one where you just give me a break? Because I don't know what to do. Can we just... applaud everyone? Like, I've said this before, innit? I love a list, but sometimes I don't think we need to do lists. Sometimes I think we just need to applaud a group of people. And I think this is the one time where I'm going to pull that card and just say, can we just applaud every single nomination in this list? Which, by the way, there were projects that didn't even make our nomination list that deserve to be here. Honorable mentions to Forte, Gravy Baby, 111, Kid Laroi again if he was going to be in the mix. Like, if Kid Laroi's album was in this mix, this list is fucked. This list is fucked. Where do we... Oh, man. Greasy's EP, Shook's album. Like, there are... How do we... There's not enough space. Like, what do we do? Yeah, this is the one where I want to see a lot of discussion, because I'd love to see what people think as an individual. Like, what are your individual top 5 lists? I know people voted for 3 at a time, but if you had like a list of 5 and you had to put it in order, let me know what you would put it as, because I honestly believe that if you was to ask me this question next week, I would nearly have a completely different 5. The only thing I think stays where it is JK's made for this. Otherwise, Chill, Lisi, Posse Shot and Hefts, you could easily swap out.